Welcome to Shawnee Union, and today we're going to be comparing affordable Leica lenses. 6 months ago I purchased a Leica M4 II, and for the last 6 months I've been buying lenses that are kind of affordable, and by affordable I mean less than $500. So let's first talk about the 4 lenses and then review some images, and at the end I'll give my conclusions and then what I think about the lenses. The first lens we're going to talk about is the Jupiter 8. This is a Russian LTM lens. Not specifically LTM, but very close. LTM stands for Leica thread mount. To use this on a Leica M body camera, you're going to need to buy an adapter. I purchased the Photodiox LTM 50mm to M mount Pro edition. I like it a lot. It works pretty great. The Jupiter 8 lens is a fully metal lens, f2.0 aperture. The only issue I have with this lens is that the aperture ring floats a little bit, so when I'm shooting I find myself having to adjust it and move it back a little bit all the time. So that's the one issue I have with it, but it's a pretty good little lens, and I purchased it for $50 on a Facebook camera group. The second lens we're going to talk about is known as the Japanese Summicron. So this is the Canon 50mm f1.8 lens. It's an LTM lens, and this one is actually more accurate than the Jupiter 8, made to go onto Leica lenses as well as the Canon LTM bodies. It's a really nice lens, a little bit heavy, but the thing I like about it the most is the focusing knob. So at infinity you have a hard stop, and then when you go closer you can physically feel how far you're zooming in. So very nice features on that lens. The third lens we're going to look at is the Minolta 40mm f2.0 rocker lens. This is a very similar copy of the Leica one. Some may say identical copies. They're made for the CLE bodies. I purchased this for $300 last year, and it's a great lens. I really like the focusing knob. It's also Leica's smallest lens as well. The main issue I have with it is the 40mm sight lines are not common in Leica bodies, so on mine I have to guess where my images start and end, and that gets pretty annoying. I did get a viewfinder for it, but it doesn't totally fix the issue. The last lens we're going to take a look at is the most expensive one, and is the Summicron f2.0 DR. DR stands for dual range. So the lens comes with these goggles that allow you to use it almost in a macro way. And then the lens is pretty heavy, extremely well built. The one issue I have with it was I wish there was a focusing knob, and I ended up paying about $330 for this lens. It's usually go for much higher, so between $500 and $1,000, but the reason I got it for so cheap is because it has some haze in it, and I have not repaired that haze yet. The next thing I did was do an imaging test. I took my Leica M4 II out to a park and all 4 lenses, and then took pictures of the same exact thing with all 4 lenses. I took pictures of a sign, some workout bars, and then a handrail. I'm going to be putting the pictures up for about 8 seconds each, so you can look at them and guess which ones you think look best. The lenses are always going to be in the same exact position, so you can just pick top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. And then I'll do a little bit of a pause so you guys can guess, and then I will review which ones I thought were the best, and then what I think of all this testing lenses, and then how do I feel about testing lenses as well. So when I got these images back, I was really surprised about how close the images were, and so this is the giveaway. On the top right was the Minolta rocker, the top left was the Summicron, the bottom left one was the Canon, and then the bottom right one was the Jupiter 8. I think the Summicron was the best in terms of sharpness and quality. You can especially tell on the picture of the handrail. It had the most definition, and it also had a little bit of extra body and contrast there that I really enjoy too. The best bang for your buck is definitely the Canon 50mm f1.8. It was extremely sharp, probably like 5% less sharp than the Summicron, and it only costs $100, so insanely good value. The 40mm had a disadvantage because I had to zoom in a little bit more, but it held up really well too, and I think for a 40mm lens, that one is insanely sharp and a pretty good deal at $300. And the Jupiter 8 didn't do too bad either. The Jupiter 8 was the cheapest lens, but I don't think it was 10 times worse than the Summicron, and it's 10 times less money as well. So that was the one big takeaway I took away from these lens tests, that even between the least expensive and the most expensive ones, the image quality was not gigantically different. Unless you're zooming in a lot, I don't think you would even really notice it as well. So in conclusion, I think it's way more important that you take good images with whatever camera you have, whatever lens you have. After this test, it showed me even more that lenses, cheap one and a great one, are not that much different. And if you're able to get in a good picture, you're able to compose well, you're able to get great access, that is way more important than spending more on lenses. The lenses make a little bit of a difference, but not enough to make an image great. If you'd like to purchase any of these things featured today, please check my description. There's some eBay affiliates and also some Amazon affiliates. If you go through those and you purchase anything, it helps this channel out. Also, what do you guys think of the tests and what do you guys think of the lenses? Are there any other affordable Leica lenses you think I should throw in there? Let me know in the comments. And so, hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm going to be off on vacation for another week, so I'll have a new video in 2 weeks. Thank you guys. See ya. That took so long to do.